In 1968, the Apollo 8 astronauts started to orbit the moon when they saw a spectacular sight. They saw the first Earthrise. They were the first humans to actually see the Earth rise, which was so profound that they opened up the Bible and quoted from the first few verses of Genesis. Now, in this video, we're going to show Neil deGrasse Tyson's emotional response, surprisingly emotional response to that very video. Hi, my name's Todd, and welcome to Mission Millennial Z Alpha Generations, where we share the other side of the creation story with today's youth. So let's get right into the video itself. Now, this was posted on the Creation versus Evolution debate group by Paul Tarsus. Now, I appreciate him, taking the time to post this video because it's very good in and of itself, but I don't like some of the things he says. Now, we'll get to that more towards the end of this video, but I want this video to play out without comment as much as possible, although I will be commenting on a few things. And you can see right here where he says, you only act this way. Now, this is Paul saying this here at the bottom. You only act this way when you know there's a God. All atheists know there really is a God. Now, he makes this provocative statement, which I'm going to touch on later, which I don't really think he should have put it that way. But we'll deal with that when we get to the comments section of this post from this Creation versus Evolution debate group. So let's watch it. It's pretty moving, actually.
Saved the year, 1968. Saved it.
Now, 1968 was a very tumultuous time here in the U.S. There was riots. I think that's when Martin Luther King Jr. was killed and Robert F. Kennedy was killed. And it was our cities were burning down. There was riots in the streets. It was a very bad time. And that's what Neil is referring to, I think, when he talks about, save the year. So let's get back to it.
Sorry. These are 3 astronauts. They were in space, going to the moon and back at the end of December, during Christmas. Okay? Christmas holiday, everybody's home, they're in space. They decide, it's their choice. They pull out the Bible and they read, in turn, the first 10 verses of Genesis.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light.
Don't count myself among the ranks of believers. They're seeing Earth the way no one has seen Earth before. They're seeing the moon the way no one has seen the moon before. They were compelled to read from the Bible. There were atheists on Earth saying, well, using government funds and the separation of church and state. Did you look at Earth from 250,000 miles out?
Now, before I comment on that, what he said here, it was very interesting how he put that. So he was very emotional. He was very moved. And he actually was sort of like putting a plug in for the rights of these astronauts to read the Bible. Now, by the way, I'm surprised they even got a Bible on board. Do these smuggle these things? This is a side note, an interesting side note perhaps, but do they smuggle these things aboard? I thought they had to weigh everything out perfectly for these tremendous flights, tremendous engineering flights that usually have to have balance. I mean, the Apollo 11 got a golf club and a golf ball. The guy was playing golf on the moon, and were they able to smuggle these things? Who knows? But they had a Bible and they opened it up, and that was very moving to me. I teared up like him when I first saw that recently. When I saw just recently, I should say, I teared up, because maybe for different reasons. But I think Tyson, Neil, should be commended for his candor and how he felt about it. But this post sort of irks me, and here's why. Here is, let's see here. Tony Bourne says this. Now, Paul Tarsus here is the guy who posted this video. Again, I'm glad he did. It's very edifying for me. And it gave me a better impression of Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I watch, by the way. I watch his Star Talk videos all the time. He's very interesting. Very funny guy, too. And, he's an atheist, by the way, they define atheist today. He calls himself an agnostic, by the way. But by the way, a lot of the internet folks define atheism, he is an atheist. But anyway, let's get into it. You only act this way when you know there isn't a God. All theists know there really isn't a God. Now, he just turned Paul's statement that I read to you earlier and just turned it around. Then Tony says, see how easy it is to make unsubstantiated claims. Now, here's what Paul says in response. He was crying like a little girl, and you will be too when your end is near. Now, to me, this response is atrocious. Again, we should give Neil, praise for what he had to say, his candor, his feelings, laying it all out there on his sleeve, so to speak. I think he's to be commended, regardless of where he is on the theistic versus atheist continuum. And I guess he's somewhere in between if you take him literally. So why say something as incendiary as this? And then this one guy, Barry, and this is what you get for not preaching the truth in love. Now, I'm not saying Tony's a bad guy. We all make mistakes. I blow it. I come across as bad sometimes. Maybe this is just a one-off for him. I hope it is. But Barry says, compassion and emotion is not something not shown by the God of the Bible. So you see what this type of stuff opens you up to. Now, there is a sense, in closing, let me say this, there is a sense that I think, and I don't want to debate this, this is not the purpose, this is a side point, but there is a sense in which all people, including atheists, know that God exists, a sense at the very least. Now, they might be blinded because of certain things. Some may not be. We don't know a person's heart, so we shouldn't condemn them. We should give them the benefit of the doubt, but they need to take a reality check too. And I'll end with this scripture here. And this is what I mean. And this is Romans 1, Paul the Apostle speaking, an eyewitness to Christ's resurrection. Paul is the most prominent apostle of the New Testament. Anyway, he says this, since what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood for what has been made, so that people are without excuse. The purpose of this channel is to show that in the beginning, God created is a scientifically confirmed, and I'm using that in a special sense, in a limited sense, confirmed truth. The universe had a beginning, and we have a lot of videos about that. And that beginning begs a supernatural creator because the universe couldn't have created itself. So anyway, we get into these type of arguments in the other videos, and I don't want to dwell on that. I just want to give the balance to Paul's statement because there is a degree of truth in what he said. Now, I'm not judging any of you atheists or agnostics, your hearts. I'm not judging Neil's heart. He seems like a great guy. But I do think these things are obvious, and that's the purpose of this channel, is to bring out arguments to show how obvious things are when you look at them logically, methodically, and using premise-based arguments. We can see that the evidence points towards towards a supernatural creator more than nothing or an eternal universe bringing all this about, bringing life about and so forth. But anyway, you can look at my other videos. I will put my debate video, my theistic debate challenge video in the comment section. So if you want to watch that, my first 2,500 word speech, it's right there for the asking. Just open it up and make some comments, and I respond to them. I try to respond to every comment I can within time. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed seeing Genesis read from outer space in the most iconic moment, one of the most iconic photos, videos ever taken. Breathtaking. And that's what I think Neil felt and he expressed, and he is to be praised for that. So we'll talk to you next time. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't, and pass this channel on to others you think might be benefited. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.